So, welcome everybody. This is Soul Talk with myself, Nicole, your intuitive guide, energy healer, medical intuitive, and I'm excited to introduce Martina Waidhas. She's here all the way from Croatia, so this is exciting. Martina is super interesting to me. I barely met her, but she's part of she and I are Project Positive Change members and visionaries. So we interact, although we've never met in video. We interact a lot in our group, and we're part of the change that's happening in the world to spread more positivity, more healing, more love, more awareness. So that's part of our mission in PPC. And Martina is a health and evolutionary advocate, a medical intuitive, and a healer. And her business is called We Make You Happy. I love that. I want to be happy. So welcome, Martina. Thank you for coming and filling this at a last minute when my other guest was MIA.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you for inviting me and organizing this all in a very short amount of time now. I'm happy to be here. Hi, everyone.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what brought you to what you're doing in the world. What's your journey been like? I'm always fascinated by people's stories, and I'd love to know, where did you start out doing the work that you're doing, or what led you to do it? So if you don't mind sharing that.
Of course, I'm happy to share, but it's not that easy because it was always there. So when being a child, not so much with the humans, but it started on the animal side. So having an intuitive connection to animals, they were reaching out to me when something was not okay. And then they started being okay after staying a while with me. And over the time, this got lost because in the world we grow up, everything was interesting, but not spirituality, not energy healing, none of these things. It was, my parents are from a time that they are not interested. It was school medicine. It was, you go to school, you pick up a job, you do something, or you study something, and then you might have children, and then one day you die, and that's it. But after a while, simply came back, and I started receiving some messages, and I started some miracles seeing to happen when I reached out to some people that have been sick before, and then suddenly they felt better, and it was becoming more and more. And then I started again with the animals, taking a course in animal communication. And I started with Psyche, Theta Healing, taking several courses, and from everything I took a little bit and added it to what already was there. And the more I took courses and was reading, and I started to read about epigenetics already a long time ago when nobody was thinking about it, pieces were falling into place. Suddenly everything made sense. And then I was allowed to take a beautiful course, which is called Neurological Integration System, the NIS, which was created or is created from a medical doctor from New Zealand. And he combined really the physical body with all the knowledge that is behind that with the intuitive healing that I'm doing.
Beautiful. Awesome. Wow. So you had this innate wisdom, like we all are born with, right? Our souls are born into a body with this innate wisdom, and you were already using it. You just didn't know necessarily what it was, how, like you didn't, you just had it and you just went with it. And then you started learning and educating yourself and taking courses and kind of finding the answers or the whys as to how you knew these things. I love that. I love that. And and your animal communication, because I'm always fascinated with that. And it's funny, I'll just mention, sometimes I feel like there's a connection with like plants, flowers, insects, animals that I have, and I personally am not sure, like I haven't really developed that or worked with it, but there is something, and there's times where I just feel this like such a strong connection with this plant, animal, insect, or whatever that I'm, really present with in a moment. And I think that's when it really is heightened for me, that awareness of, wow, we are all connected. And I'm able to have this moment where I can sense the soul of this,
Yes.
whatever it is I'm present with. Is that kind of what your experience was like when you first?
Absolutely, absolutely. The only difference between animals and plants is that they are much more quiet. They do not need to shout out what's going on.
Yes.
And they are such great teachers. And you can start at a very easy thing, because when you see a plant, I'm not a plant specialist. I'm starting to work with plants as well now, but the first thing is look at the plant. How does it look like? What is the structure of the leaves and the flower? And then you already get an idea of what it wants to tell you, what it is there for, the healing capacity you could use the plant for. So it's actually very, very easy to do this. And the animals, they are our greatest teachers. They are most advanced souls. And there I'm absolutely not with the Buddhism. They say when you once are born as a human, you will never be an animal again. What, from my experience, and I really experienced it with a pet, a dog we had, you can only be born, reborn, reincarnate as an animal when you have a certain level of awareness of enlightenment. It's not possible the other way around, because they know what is unconditional love. They do not need to be taught about that. So it can't be the other way around. They might be in kind of way looking primitive to us humans.
Right.
But
like going backwards. Yes.
That's it. And that's so amazing, taking the wisdom and the knowledge they have. I can interact with them when it comes to healing, what they want, what they don't want, if they want surgery, what kind of medication, if they want to pass over or still stay here.
Oh, that's beautiful. And just real fast, somebody on PPC, and I don't know because it shows up as PPC. I don't know if it's Lee or Sam, but someone said, hello, beautiful women. Martina is amazing. So I just wanted you to know that. And then Marianne McGuire says, I'm in love with plants. I can't wait for my clematis to bloom. Oh, I love that. I love clematis. You're so lucky you have clematis. That's beautiful.
Absolutely. Beautiful flower.
I love that you just shared that, because I was listening to something Eckhart Tolle said about, you want to know what being in the present, being in the now is. Look at an animal, like, your pets. They are living in the now. They don't worry about the past or stress about the future. It's always now for them. And that is a sign that they're more enlightened in a way.
Absolutely, yes.
Because they know how to do it. There's nothing else for them. They can only do that. So that's beautiful. Marianne says, hi, it's me, Marianne. Okay, so Marianne, you were the incognito PPC person before. It didn't show your name. Okay. Good. So you mentioned that you're a health and evolutionary advocate, Martina. What does that mean? Can you share with everyone what that means for you?
Well, that's a huge topic. How much time have we got?
How about in 5 minutes? Could you?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, our physical body represents our emotional and spiritual health. It's as easy as that. So the physical pain is showing us that something is not okay, and then we can take action. So it's actually a beautiful thing. It's not something we should push away or want to get rid of. No, we should be grateful for the pain, as we know there is something. Sometimes we can help with the problem on a physical level. That's what I can help with. Restructure all the connections and the brain hemispheres and all these things, the hormones, to regulate those, or the autonomic nervous system, that people that are mostly under stress, you can regulate the autonomic nervous system, but you have to work on your evolution. And this is what happens actually a lot. We had made huge steps. The evolution this time is not a physical change, but it's happening in our mind, in our consciousness, in the subconsciousness, in the universe. So this is much more subtle, and this is why we are struggling so much and why the human body hurts a lot. So actually I got work from this side and from the other side, but working from both sides and explaining people why all these also really, really devastating things happen in the outside, why it is necessary, and at the end, good that it happens. It's also with the what was that in France, Notre Dame burning.
Yeah.
It's a disaster, of course, but then you found these millionaires that donated millions of dollars just in 2 days, and everyone was like, really?
Yeah.
What about all these people suffering? So the awareness already had changed so much, and people do not agree with that. They say, come on, help those that are in need of help, and not building up an old building. It's, well, everything has its time. And this is the evolution that happens. And I can help people understand what happens and not to start hating and grieving around those things, but being in alignment, being okay with what is.
Yes.
Acknowledging it, and that's it.
Like having peace with what is yeah, what I hear you say. So I wanted, a question came up just as you were saying all that. So some of the work I do with my clients, and I know all of us energy healers are all so different, but some of the work I do is to understand too, like any energy contracts or karmic agreements that they may have made that are maybe need to be revised or closed or dissolved in this life because there was some unfinished business of sorts. Do you do anything similar to that, or do you just deal with like what's happening now for them?
No, I'm working on that, but that's the real weird part of what I do. This is a process I'm doing, entering quantum space.
Yes.
And just commanding these things to disappear. I'm never, ever going and looking in the past. Of course, I'm interested in people's stories because it's important, but I'm not working from that. I'm working from the here and now. But of course, these contracts, they might exist, but it's a belief. From my perception, all these things, these hooks, spells, vows, attachments, all these things are created from thoughts and beliefs.
Yes.
If you do not believe it, it does not exist.
Right. And the human mind, though, the way, the human mind works is that that's all we know are the beliefs, the stories, the things. So even in a sense, if I were, even having that healing in a sense with someone where there's truth and transformation about something that they're believing or holding on to, they then can let it go, right? Yes. Does that make sense? I hope
it makes sense to me.
Okay. Yeah, because it doesn't, whether or not you dig up the past or go visit and see what happened, there needs to be some kind of like understanding, I think, for a lot of people. A lot of people need to understand things. I know I need to understand. I do have trust and faith in this work, but helping me when I have things that help me understand, it then makes it makes sense where I can go, okay, this.
Well, for me, it was like this until some time ago, but then I recognized, no, it's not for me. It's absolutely not
Yes.
interesting knowing why and when, and I do not have to understand. Just
Yes.
help with the belief, with the problem in the here and now, and that's it.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
but
And
I know lots of people cannot deal with that, and they really have to know and step into it. And I'm there for that as well. So that's what I'm offering a lot. Just talking and sharing their story, holding space for them. And that's already some healing that happens for them when they are allowed to share.
yes, Marianne wrote, many people want their pain witnessed, then they can let it go. Yes, I agree. They do. There needs like, and everyone's different. So I'm only speaking to my own experience and the people that I've worked with. But I don't necessarily need to understand my past, like anything from the past. Like I don't need that for myself. I think it was helpful though in bringing certain things to my attention. And it was helpful in a transformational way, actually, in my marriage and my relationship, because I knew that there was something, and from a energy contract or karmic, experience, I knew there was something, and I didn't necessarily have to find out, but I had a tool to find out, and I used the tool, right, to see. And then it's like, oh, okay, I don't need to go back and delve into it. It's not a book I need to reread again. I have what I need from it, and I'm able to move forward. So yeah, that was my own personal experience. But a lot of people, like Marianne says, do want to have their past or their pain witnessed. And
well, I'm just, if there comes a situation where I'm showing some emotion in a negative way, or I had with some people, you have these returning patterns that come over and over and over.
yes.
I'm now just taking that situation, looking at it, and I will find my part why this happens. So mostly the other person takes something onto them to help me find finally what's wrong. And that's much easier than looking in the past.
Yes. Oh, totally.
Past, but it doesn't matter when and where, because there are so many blind spots you don't know. You don't know what happened at age 1, or while being in the womb of your mom, or even in a past life.
Yes.
You don't know.
There's
so
not.
You are always peeling layer by layer, but here we are in quantum energy. So why peeling layer by layer when you can get the whole thing done in once?
It's
always possible, but very, very often.
Fan of that. I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan. I think there's just, we are going through an evolution, and people catching up to that, and even imagine, like, believing that can happen for them is going to be a huge shift for this planet. And I'm excited about it. I had a question, something you said. I think one of the things that I'll ask you, but I'm more able to be a conscious observer or a bear neutral witness to things, like in my life and in other people's life, more than I have ever before. And that, I think that too has helped me not hold on to stories or beliefs or pain or anything, because I'm just holding space and witnessing an unfolding of events or things. And I'm not necessarily making judgments or pointing blame or getting upset with myself over things. I'm like, oh, that's an opportunity for me to look at and see, that's interesting that I chose that, or he chose that, or she, and just in that really conscious observer mode. And that has been like, I'm able to be around people I would normally feel uncomfortable around because I perceive there's too many differences or beliefs or things. And that has been really a breakthrough in my life. Do you have that
Absolutely.
experience as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It makes so much sense. And in the meantime, when somebody's acting in a certain way or saying things in a certain way, I'm able to see what's really behind that reaction. So there is no need to judge or blame anyone. What for? They had their lives that created their thoughts, and the thoughts created their beliefs and the perception and everything and the events that they learned from life, and they made people to what they are now. So there is no good or bad, it just is. And you only can take the chance. And this is the great news, because actually you need some guidance, but you can do all on your own by just observing and not judging.
Yes, exactly. It's something I strive every day. I practice it every day. And of course, we're human. We judge. It comes up. It comes up, but yeah, but the more you practice and the more you're aware and conscious, the more you see it. And then you're like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, what was
Yeah,
coming up for me? Shelly, hey, Shelly. Shelly was a former student. She did a great job, and we worked together a little bit. Shelly says, I have to go back and watch the first 20 minutes. Yes, you do, Shelly. It was
perfect.
very, very exciting. And Lynn, hi, Lynn. My friend Lynn is watching. I love this. Oh, I'm so happy. Lynn has been on the show too. Actually, no, Lynn was on. We did a live together, Lynn. You haven't been on this format, so we got to get you scheduled.
Come on, sometimes it happens unexpectedly.
Yes, many times it does. Martina, tell me a little bit about, like, were there times in your life, because I know this is something I hear a lot from my students and clients when I'm teaching intuitive abilities and learning their intuitive skills, doubting their intuitive voice, like they have fears or doubts, so they don't listen. Can you speak a little bit to that? Because I always like to get other people's perspectives. Had that ever happened in your life, and what did you do?
Well, to be honest, no, it did not happen, because when I get this message, it's like animal communication. It's the very first thing that comes to your mind. It might be a picture, it might be a sentence, it might be just a feeling. Then I take it to my heart, then I take it to my conscious mind, asking if it makes sense, because sometimes things do not really make sense. But if that is answered all okay, then I stay with that no matter what happens. It took me years now to step out there to do what I'm doing. I started as a alternative medical practitioner, very one-on-one sessions, doing some strange one-on-one work with people, and like a naturopath, and I was not happy with that. It took me years, but I always knew that this is my way. I was really having discussions with my husband. Why are you doing things like this? Why are you talking to so many people just for fun, to connect to them and to get to know them? This is all a waste of time. I said, no, this is not a waste of time. This is all for building up good friends, for building up business partners, for making connections, for spreading the word. And at the end, it will pay out. Yeah, but we are running out of money. Can't you see that? Yes, I see that, but I don't care. And he got so upset about me. And I said, no, please trust me. Yeah, I will set up a campaign for my hypnosis practice, and I will do Google AdWords. I say, okay, go ahead with Google AdWords. I know they don't work for me. I have to do it this way. And it was lots of things going on, and a lot of people would have said, no, stop, just go back to corporate, do something. Originally, I'm a professional cook, just go into some restaurants, start cooking, earn some money. But I knew this is not the way. And now it turns out it's still on the path, but it turns out pieces are coming together. It's like the puzzle, it's filling up. And yeah, I know it will happen.
Yeah, it doesn't need to make sense or seem logical or rational when it's
No.
happening. So
Yes.
you, so
But that's
you,
the point where lots of people then stop and do not follow their path. They're getting scared. And of course, if you see, okay, money is getting, there is still some money, but you might need it for this and for this and for that. And eventually, yeah, let's stop that. Let's do something normal.
yeah, money's that's a big thing people have energy about, which is funny because money is energy, and then we have energy about it, and then it's it's something that I've worked on in my life too, and I have a different relationship with. I don't have the same as well, and I trust more that I'm effortlessly supported in life, however that is. I just know that that's true because I witness it. I witness it, and I think that's what one thing too is something I shared with my students in my little group yesterday. Is I said, you know, your spiritual self is the self that notices you having the experience of emotional energy, right? It is the observer mind in your, and we use I teach this practice of going into your inner sanctuary. It's the observer mind in your sanctuary. And if you're feeling anger, sadness, lack, whatever it is, ask yourself, who is observing this? And it usually kind of like takes the pressure off, the things like ease up, and you no longer think you are your emotions, because the spiritual mind has no opinion about those emotional energies or any energy. It's just energy. It's not good or bad or anything. So when we align with our spiritual self and have that neutral, unattached stance, it just changes the energy, and there's a healing that happens. And I think, like, right, so kind of letting go of that human mind running the show, letting your spiritual mind give you, you know, the wisdom, the clarity, the answers, and not letting the human mind take over with its judgments and emotions.
That's not what the human brain is made for. It's therefore to come through the day, to have some analytical skills
Exactly.
and
Solve problems.
but it's not there for solving problems. But that's what we were taught it has to do. And this is why people are struggling so much, because they are simply using the wrong tool for the wrong task.
Yes, exactly. You're using the wrong tool for the wrong task. Exactly. Yes.
They sometimes get upset with me because I normally, okay, I acknowledge, that's it. No. Are you not upset seeing that? No.
Yeah, I know.
Because
I like to say the human mind's great for math. Let it do all the math at once.
now I understand why I've never been good in mathematics.
And that's why I didn't do well. Yes, I was good in algebra, but not geometry and any advanced stuff. I just didn't. Yeah, that didn't. And you know what? Actually, that might be doing us a disservice in raising children and how we educate. You know, that's a whole other topic. We don't have time for that. But how we're telling children, we're focusing more on the logical human brain and emphasizing the importance of that, and we're losing that creativity and intuitive, you know, ability that will really take them places in life that the human logical brain isn't going to, you know.
Absolutely. And it would be so easy taking them from that point. And I think it was the Dalai Lama that said, take all 8-year-old children and learn them how to meditate. Within one generation, you will change the entire world. And that's so true.
So true. And kids, they get it. You know, the little ones, the academy that I go to for my master's in intuitive medicine, they do classes with little ones. And when they talk about like grounding and chakras and they do like little meditations,
Oh,
they
beautiful.
totally get all kinds of, like, they can draw these pictures, especially like kids, love,
Oh,
most kids love drawing pictures. They can, there was even an example. This one kid drew a symbol, and it was like a kundalini symbol that she drew, and she drew it at the base of her spine, in that area where the kundalini energy kind of
yeah, of course.
generates from. And and they're like 6 years old doing this. I mean, they know. Isn't it
I
beautiful?
hope I hope they stay with that, because at age 7, their conscious mind will step in. So let's
Yeah.
pray for them that they stay with that and take those gifts that we all originally have, but that had been shut down.
Yes. Yes.
So
And if you're a parent out there watching this, I know a lot of great conscious aware parents out there. A lot of my friends are just amazing. But if you are someone, that you have, kids in school and everything, if you can supplement in their life meditation practices and using their creativity as an intuitive
absolutely.
form for them, because that is, I feel like our creativity is our intuition. And helping grow that and foster that and nurture that, because I think
Singing,
back. Go ahead.
singing is also a beautiful thing.
Singing.
Singing, yeah, music,
Yes.
vibration,
Any
frequency.
artistic, I
Yeah,
feel like any of the arts is amazing, but singing, yeah, it's very powerful, and also helping them find their power, right, their voice.
absolutely. And it has healing capacities for the physical body. Frequency heals disease.
Yes, yes, I love frequencies for healing. I use them
Absolutely.
all the time. So that was just a little message I wanted to share to all the parents out there. Martina, is there anything, because I know I want to respect your time. Is there anything you want to end with or talk about or share? I know you have your We Make You Happy Facebook page. Is there just, what would you like to share with the world as a parting gift, parting,
That's
closing?
well, I actually don't know what to say. I'm a bit confused now. There is so much I would love to share. It's trust the process. Go to some people that can help you, guide you through this. It's not difficult. No, it's the opposite. It's very, very easy. And when you're able to see the truth, you will laugh about how easy it is at the end. It was shown to me, and I'm mostly in that state. And I was like, oh my God, what have you done your entire life? So
I agree. It is easy, but when you say that to people, they get mad at you.
I know, but I take it on me. I'm happy if they choose me being angry. I
Yeah,
can take
no,
that.
I know.
Just
It's
believe.
just funny because I'm very careful about how I position the work. I'm like, it takes practice. I just keep saying it just takes
Yes,
practice.
it absolutely takes practice, but
Yeah.
it can happen for everyone. It can
Yes.
also happen instantly, and it is possible for each and everyone to create heaven on earth. We do not have to wait for some heaven sometime. It's here, it's right here in the now that it can happen. And eventually just allow it and receive it. That's very often I see the problem is they have done all the work, but they do not allow themselves to experience all of that and to
Yeah.
receive. That's also something a lot of people are not able to, they are not able to receive.
So true. So true.
And don't be scared of the change. It's beautiful on the other side.
Yes, it is beautiful here. And there's plenty of people that'll join you. And you'll attract a whole new tribe in your life. And
Absolutely.
it's
Absolutely.
amazing. And yeah, it's hard to explain, but you did a beautiful job just now. And thank you for doing that, because that is what it feels like. It feels like heaven on earth. And thank you for that. Lynn says, I will always be a student of this practice. Yes, we're all students.
We are all students. We are on the
Yes.
path. We are still humans. We have our breakdowns. We have wake up in the morning having pain. Don't be concerned about that, but stay tuned. Trust the process.
Yes, love it. Oh, see, you didn't have to think about what to say. It came out just beautifully and perfectly. So thank you, Martina. Anybody that wants to know what Martina's doing in the world, she did, share with me before we went live that she's going to be creating some things. So in the meantime, why don't you like her Facebook page? It's We Make You Happy. And it's you and your husband that do this work, correct? Or is it
Yes,
just you?
that's true. That's true. We're complementing each other. He offers some different methods and tools to access people because not everything is for everyone. So at the end, we have a solution, not for everyone, but for lots of people. And if you don't like one approach, we choose the next one and the next one and the next one until we find something that you resonate.
I love that. So that's perfect. And look, perfect timing. My neighbors are doing some loud yard work or something. So it's great time to end the show. Thank you, neighbors, for waiting till the end. And thank you again, Martina. That's Martina of We Make You Happy on her Facebook page. Go ahead and like it and see what her and her husband are up to in the world. She's amazing. I love this conversation. I could talk for hours, Martina. Thank you for filling in at the last minute.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And we'll be in touch, my dear. I know it. We'll be doing things in the future. I can just feel it.
That sounds great. Yeah, resonates completely with me. Thank you so much and goodbye. Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.